Hi, and welcome to my Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. Well, I did a change of plans because the rest of my Traditions of Christmas sweet collection showed up. I thought, oh, I've got to show this off. And so this evening, I'll be showing you how to make a merry and bright card. This is really pretty, but it is stunningly simple. And so I know you'll enjoy that because who doesn't love something that's simple to make? Let me start by introducing myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand-stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. We have some checking in. Miss Adelaide is here, and Miss Kathy, and Miss Patricia. Fantastic. So let's have a closer look at the Traditions of Christmas, right? That's the name of it. Yep, Traditions of Christmas Sweet Collection. All right, and so it starts with the Christmas Greenery bundle. So we have the stamp set with the beautiful flowers and then the coordinating dies. Oh, Miss Janice is here, Miss Danette and Miss Debbie. Oh my goodness. And the coordinating dies. So you see these outline dies. Well, they'll die cut all of the images. And except, yeah, there's one there somewhere for that, I think. And but then some intricate dies. Look, you can do holly and berries and pine bough. And I'm not exactly sure what that is. And very, very nice. Oh, you know what? That's not to die cut. That's to go in here. Okay. And then you have the coordinating traditional labels dies. Okay. So we've got a lot of course Christmas greetings. And then look at these label dies. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Hold on. I've got this all set. There. The Traditions of Christmas Sweet Collection. You want the whole thing. And look at these beautiful labels dies. So they're pretty fancy dancy, not just their shapes, but they emboss in or die cut even more of an image. And it almost makes them feel layered. And so let me show you the rest of this. But you're going to want to order this right away in my online store, www.shopwithshelley.com, because starting October 1st, you can register for a class that Stampin' Up! Is putting on in October. And it's going to be awesome, but you need the sweet collection to follow along. And they will provide a cutting guide so we can have everything cut and ready to go. And so I'm so happy I have it all. And so as soon as I register, I can start preparing my supplies. So let me show you what else is in this sweet collection. We have the traditional wreath 3D embossing folder. Let me turn that in the light. Can you see? Isn't that pretty? 3D. And we have the traditional sparkling sequins. Very pretty. You know, I have to be honest, at first I thought they were a little cutesy for something so elegant. Wait till you see how I use them on the card. Very elegant, gorgeous. And then you have the real red shiny ribbon. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Let's see. It is what, 5/8? Half inch. Half inch. And then, oh, the gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous Traditions of Christmas specialty designer series paper. So let's look at these patterns. And I need to show you something. I left this one on top on purpose because look, we can take this outline die. I probably have it upside down. Nope, there we go. And die cut. We can die cut these out. How gorgeous is that? Is that just not too much fun? Okay. And so we've got beautiful patterns. And so, and then there's that Christmas Greenery bundle by itself, but I'll leave the sweet collection up here because you want it all. There are just no two ways about it. All right, so here we go. Side A and B in the gold foil. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. These patterns are just so, these are gorgeous. These are very functional. I love patterns, you know, plaids and all that. And oh, the gold foil, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then this, we can die cut. with the die. Duh. Easy for me to say. And there we go. And some more poinsettias. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then the two flowers mixed, the poinsettias, and I'm told Christmas roses, a loose interpretation of those. And so we've got all the traditional colors with pink in there. And I think it is just absolutely gorgeous. And somebody was saying right before the video started, or before it even started, that she was playing with this DSP yesterday. And let me quickly show you this too. So my dies, you may have noticed, are on these magnet cards. And these are something I pick up at a separate company from Stampin' Up called Stampin' Storage. And they hold my dies in place, but super strong. And you saw easy to get off. And you know what? They are 15% off. Actually, the whole store is through September 29th, including the storage pockets that I slide them into to store. And I put the insert from the envelope in there. And so this just makes my life a lot easier than trying to put them back on the cardstock with the tape on it. And so storage pockets, follow my link over there because you want to make sure you get the pockets and not the sleeves for this. The sleeves have another purchase. And so 15% off store wide. How fantastic is that? Life is good. Okay, so let's come back and see who else has checked in. Oh, Miss Tammy's here, and Miss Linda, and Miss Cindy. And okay, I think I said hello to Miss Janice. I think if not, hello, hello. Oh, and Miss Cherie is here. All right, it is a party now for sure. All right, so this paper, gorgeous. And so this class, I'm really excited about it. And even more so now that I played with the paper, because I always start with Halloween. I did several Halloween projects. And, I always start with fall, all the fall stuff. And so, but because this class was coming up and I had the whole suite, but I have got to show you all of this. And because I'm registering for the class and I hope you'll do it with me. All right, so let's start with some stamping. And what I have here is some basic white cardstock. And whenever you stamp on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use Stampin' Up basic white cardstock because there's a smooth, tight finish for crisp, clean images. All right, so Miss Adelaide, will you do something with the new Advent calendar in December? Well, you know what? I absolutely will. I ordered that this morning, and let me show you. Here's what we're talking about. Look at this. And so that box, the box that it comes in, easily is 12 by 12. When they held it up, when we look at the hands, you can see that looks like a 12 by 12. So these are substantial doors to open. And so there are 12. Now, this became available today and available only while supplies last. Oh, and I have a QR code for that because I'm thinking this could sell out quickly. So it's $99, and they said on a leader's call, but I didn't find it in writing, but I remember saying, she had said there was $125 in products. So we'll say approximately $125 in products for $99. But these products exclusive to this, all 12, actually there are 13 because you see the stamp set there, that's included too, and that's not behind one of the windows. So she said there are really 13 products included. And so we'll have, I'm sure, designer trace paper. They showed us the first window and there were dies to go with the stamp set. And this isn't a Christmas set. You can see the little rainbow, and I think I saw what was a cupcake and all kinds of good stuff. So this is very exciting. People, we just found out about it, but they were excited and waiting. And again, available only while supplies last. So I'm thinking that could disappear quickly. And yes, I ordered it and I plan to show it off. Oh, I want to have fun a day at a time because that's how an advent calendar should be. And so, yay. So I hope you'll go and order that in my online store because, oh my goodness, we've never had anything like that. And then exclusive products. Whew, it's going to be fun. All right. So back to stamping with my Christmas greenery. And this is from the September through December 2025 Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog, which, oh, there's our paper and the ribbon and the stamp set with the die. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, which we will call the holiday catalog because that just makes life easier because that's what it used to be. All right, and so here's, oh my goodness, look at this spread. And so that's what's so cool about so many things being in online exclusives. We're getting more samples than ever in the catalog, and a real close-up of that designer series paper, which of course is even better in person, and then even more samples. So absolutely beautiful. Oh, look, and it keeps going. Well, this is a mega suite because it has 2 bundles in it. So it's a mega suite. And wow, is it ever. I can't wait for the class. Okay, so let's get busy stamping. So, oh, very excited about that advent calendar. All right, so I am going to use Old Olive because as I started stamping with this, seems like there may be a comment. There we go, I couldn't see. All right. After I stamped it, I went, oh, wait a minute, these are the fill stamps. So you can, if you want, if you'd like to sit there and color with, you know, the watercolor pencils, the Stampin' Blends, the markers while we have them, you can. But we've got stamps to fill those all in, and I think that's brilliant. And then I thought, well, why don't we go ahead and stamp an Old Olive, one of the colors from the Traditions of Christmas DSP, because then all my pine boughs will already be green. I'm like, okay, that works, right? All right, so I have this mounted on a clear block E. All right. And so when you do this, here, I'm going to take it off and show you. When there are coordinating dies, especially, plop the stamp down and then take your mount to it because it's really easy to pull these out of place. If I place it on there, I may oh so slightly even turn it, but then it'll make it harder to die cut it decently. So do that. All right, and whenever my stamp is bigger than my pad, I take the pad to the stamp instead of the stamp to the pad. So Old Olive, we'll pick this up and get this all good and inked up. And I'm excited to show you how this card all came together for me. All right. Straight up and down. So much going on that the Advent calendar became available today. I had it in my head it was going to be next month. All right, that's just gorgeous already. And we haven't even done anything yet. Gorgeous. And I'm going to use cherry colors in the Mega Suite and some more basic white cardstock. Pick this up, slide that in, and I chose Merry and Bright. There are 2 different stamps from here. And what's so cool about the photopolymer that I can put them all on one block so it will fit well into the die that I chose. So we'll get that good and inked up and stamp in the center, straight up and down. Voila. Okay. So we are, well, we're done with all the stamping we needed to do before we start die cutting. So let me grab my Stampin' Cut and die machine. And here it is. Fantastic. Love this thing. Love how it has such a small profile. Fold these down. And then I need my plates. And what I have here is, because we're die cutting with all these thin metal dies, right? I've got the magnetic platform. And this is something that I picked up on Amazon. There we go. And there's the link to that. You see all those little circles? Those are the magnets. So it will hold my die in place as I'm die cutting. So I don't need to use adhesive. So if you don't have this, use plate number 1 and plate number 2 that come with a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so let's do that. And And as I say, I think every time, it doesn't make me a perfect die cutter, but much better. So regardless if I use the magnetic platform or plate 1 and 2, this is by itself, or plate 1 and 2, same thickness, and we're building up to the appropriate thickness to die cut, you need a plate number 3, a cutting plate. And then I have my cardstock, and I rotate these around. Okay, and so let's grab our die off of here. And I like to let the die drop so it finds the magnets. And that's looking maybe upside down. And maybe not. We'll see. Oh, there we go. All right, that fits it. Very, very nice. Okay. From my angle, I'm not so sure. Okay, and then we've got World Card Making Day. And I've got all that information on my blog too. And what a cute kit. And then we need number 3. There's so much going on. We've got the Advent calendar that started today, the World Card Making Day, which is the Handmade and Heartfelt kit available to order right now. And you'll want to hurry up and do that because World Card Making Day, the Stampin' Up event, is Saturday, October 4th, 3rd, 4th, I believe. And it's only about an hour, but you can make the cards along with them, during that live event, or watch it later if the time isn't great for you. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. Okay, so, and what I like about the magnet cards, boom, right back on here. You know what? I need this because I want to add some greenery, and for that I have old olive cardstock. And you know what? This is a really intricate one. So I have, one of you sweet stampers told me to do this, to run a dryer sheet over it, and it helps it to just pop right out. So there we go. There we go. And then if I've got room, we can do the Merry and Bright. And with that, I will use the traditional labels dies. So pretty. And I chose this small one. There we go. Center that around it. That's looking good. And then place this on top. So World Card Making Day, Advent Calendar, and Traditions of Christmas class. Whew! It's going to be a really busy, fun October of crafting. All right. So let's have a look. Beautiful. And I don't know if you can see this stitching around here. It's not just the little line, then the dot in between. And that's probably about one of the plainest of them all. These are so, so pretty. My gracious. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, that fell right out. I didn't do that while I was fooling around. And then I thought of it, thought, oh, yeah. So let's do that one more time. Do that quickly. That's nice when it just falls off, huh? So a dryer sheet. I don't use dryer sheets, but I have a bunch of them that are, oh my goodness, I'm not kidding you, probably more than 30 years old, but hey, they still work for this. Okay, so let's put this aside and see if this pops out really. Oh, there we go. Whoever told me that, I don't remember, but God bless her. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And right back on here. And so 15% off. Follow that link if you would. I sure would appreciate it. We're just going to tuck everything aside and keep everything nice and neat. I do like things to be nice and neat. And a friend of mine was reading an article that, it's not all in my head. Being neat stops you from feeling overwhelmed. I know I feel calmer when things are neat. And all right, so here we have this. All right, and then with my little take your pick tool, these couple things, they'll just pop right out. But I don't know that we'll be able to see them, but it does add to the detail, doesn't it? When you have that in there, as opposed to, look at this, with those still in and popped out, it is a lot more attractive. Do right out. Okay. So this, I like coloring, but I got excited when I discovered that these stamps for the fill. And how clever it is that they're all the same stamp, just the way they rotate them differently. And then I got excited because I'm just all kinds of excited today, but I'm not going to do it for this card, but you could so easily dress it up. Wow, I really zoomed in. So here are the stamps we'll be using. There are dies for them, and at least for the little ones, that you could pop that up, get a 3D thing going on. Isn't that cool? Very cool. Wow, I am really zoomed in, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing, so that's good. Okay, hopefully it's still clear and not zoomed too much. Let's start with, and I want this, I'll do a little bit of stamping off. I'm going to start with Pretty in Pink. You know what? That wasn't, okay, I've got to zoom out. That's freaking me out. Just a little bit. Okay. The Pretty in Pink wasn't listed in the colors, but that's what it sure looks like to me, because the colors are Cherry Cobbler, Old Olive, Pool Party, Real Red, Secret Sea, and Gold. But it coordinates beautifully. So we're going to add Pretty in Pink to that. So we'll pick this up and slide that in. Now, here we go. We'll ink this up. Now, this one is the only one that you need to slow down and take your time to get it right. And it's because it cuts out, because this flower is in front of, so, but they fixed it all up for us. Let me see. So I'm looking for that leaf. And once you find it, it all just starts falling together. All right. I know it's got to go over that way because the way it's cut out. I think I'm getting there. There we go. I think. Excuse me while I think out loud. All right, I'm going to keep turning. You keep turning till things line up. All right, let me fill in some other stuff first. Maybe that'll help me see it better. Let's start with the leaves. Oh, Miss Patricia liked it zoomed in. Well, it was freaking me out. I can do that. It was freaking me out with the stamp pad, though. I couldn't even read the name. All right, so we've got the leaves. And I thought, because I stamped an Old Olive, it'd be a little too dark. So let's stamp off. And that's a technique, just stamping off some of the ink and then fill it in. Isn't that pretty? We've got the two-tone. So we'll stamp off again. So if Miss Patricia liked it, it must not have blurred it on us. Very nice. Isn't that cool, though? I didn't look at this. I just thought it was pretty. I didn't look at all that kind of detail to realize, well, first of all, that these stamps came with it like that, and that they were the same ones, just artfully placed. There we go. And I had no trouble doing that poinsettia earlier. I'll get it, I promise. But it does take a little bit of turning around. So all of that, we have that. And then the Real Red. Doop. And there we go. This Full Strength. Isn't that awesome? I love photopolymer stamps. You don't need to be perfect, but the closer you get, probably the better, because this is such an elegant set. There we go. All right, so now back to the pink. I have all of the confidence in the world that we're going to get it. Because like I said, I did it several times today, so it's all good. I think it's the light. The light's in my eyes. It's not the same lighting. Oh, you know what? This may be what's going around all of that. Okay. Do, do, do. There we go. That's got to be it. There we go. Once you get there, it's like, oh, yeah, 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 I think. I don't know why. Okay, I'm freaking myself out because it was so easy earlier. I did do the rotations, but it was easy. And now I'm making it difficult, and I apologize for that because it really isn't. There. Okay, I see it. I see it. I see it. Just need to get that rotation. There we go. Whew, but beautiful, right? How that goes in. I had it stuck in my head that this part was over here where it needed to be over there. That's what I get for thinking about it. But isn't that beautiful? I am leaving those like the DSP did, white. I'm just going to go ahead and leave them white. All right. So now I was getting ready to start designing. I think I do need to back off a little bit, but at least you could see what I was doing. And I thought, what am I going to put this on for a base? And so I got out real red cardstock for the base, set that on there, and just loved it. Well, before that, I did add the greenery. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I have here is my Stampin' Seal. So let's put that on here. And I added the greenery, so it was peeking out right about here with a little bit. Okay, I found out, hold on. Leaving that tail tucked in. Oh, I know what's going on. I've got it upside down. There we go. I'm okay. Really, I am. And there. That's the look I wanted. I really like that. And then for this one, I can get it on there, but I'm going to use instead, and I got to show you this, these scissors that were recommended to me. They are less than half what I paid for them. And a friend was over the other night and she's, oh my goodness, I love these scissors, that spring loaded. And so I'm just going to go ahead and trim some of this off. I know I don't need all of it. Then I'm not working as hard. But there's that QR code. These were down to under $9. I like that this locks in place. All right. So there we go. And so some more adhesive. And I want that to come up over in here. So this is just adding a whole lot. All right, I put the adhesive on the wrong side, but I can always use it. There we go. Thank you for your enduring patience. Don't want it sticking out the bottom. I just want some over here. Okay, so then when I put it on the real red, thought, my gracious, that is stunning on the real red. But I thought, okay, that's too simple. I can't just stop there. So I got out some more real red to keep it against because I know I absolutely wanted to keep it on the real red. So let's go ahead and do this. And Stampin' Dimensionals, my favorite adhesive ever, because giving it a lift will add so much to it. I did fool with those that greenery. The first one went on, it was that second one. It was when I trimmed it. It's like, okay, there it is. That's easy. Okay, so let's do that. Peel these off. All right, and there we go. So just stunning. Don't you love that against the red? Oh, thank you, Miss Dina. I love it against the red. So even this was pretty. You know what? Let's just go ahead and you could stop there. It was, I mean, it's my Christmas card, so it needed to be, for me, a little bit more, but I really am impressed. And I did put just a touch of green. I'll show you one idea was just a little touch of green. I started off at the top. I did top and bottom, didn't like it. And I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of pretty too. That adds a little bit, or the bottom. But anyway, so I wanted to show you the progression of this. But I ended up instead using these two patterns on here. And so back with my Stampin' Seal where it's a little opaque. Sometimes I have to help it along. We'll put a strip and, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. The hardest part of this card was deciding which DSP because they're all so gorgeous. Okay, so this is cut to go top to bottom. And tomorrow, after my video is done uploading into HD, I'll have a link to my blog post with all the measurements as well as a downloadable PDF that will include the card sketch. And then we're going to just butt this right up to it. So 2 coordinating patterns. I keep saying that they remind me of the Garanimals. And when we were a kid, the Garanimals were they matched, but coordinated, but weren't the same. All right, so let's go ahead and take these off. I originally had it down lower, which I thought was really cool, but I had trouble with the greeting, so I ended up needing to raise it up. So let's do this. And okay, so we will come up further, which is fine. I just didn't want it centered. I wanted it off-centered. So like, okay, so we'll just pick it up. No big deal. And then I want to show you, I started first with the Merry and Bright in Pretty and Pink. And I thought it was pretty. But then I remembered my husband telling me that red shows up really well on camera. And so I tried the Real Red. And that's pretty because it coordinates obviously with our Real Red base. And I wanted to show you all the possibilities. And I tried Old Olive because, of course, I used Old Olive. And nothing wrong with that. But I decided to try it because it is one of the colors. And I wasn't expecting to like it. But I really do like the Cherry Cobbler. It goes well with the red, but it stands out. It's really good. All right, so we're going to tuck it in right there. Because I didn't want to cover up my design. My design was just way too pretty. These poinsettias and I'm told, like I said, Christmas roses, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm so excited about that class. I hope you'll order this suite and do it with me. All right, and so then I'm tucking it up so it wasn't just floating. I don't want to cover up any of the letters, but I like that it's peeking through, and I do need to center it because I am me. And so adhesive there and dimensionals there because this is raised up. All right, we're not done, but almost. But isn't that beautiful? So stinking simple, but wow, is that just stunning. Love it, love it, love it against the red. And I thought, okay, these are part of the Sweet collection. Let's just see. Because I think of glittery, more cutesy, right? I thought, nope, let's give this a try. And so doggone it, we're going to. And so my Take Your Pick tool, these are their traditions. Oh, what are they called? Yeah, the traditional sparkling sequins. And we're going to tuck one up and over here. So I'm going to do the Real Red on the Real Red. Now that's just elegant. That's not cutesy. This is definitely elegant. We'll come over here, tuck one in, peeking out behind the pine bough. And there are 3 different sizes and one right down in here for our greeting to help anchor that. And there we go. We have a Merry and Bright card that really is easy to make. Once you get that figured out, it's a lot easier when you're not live on camera. And I showed you how I progressed and got there and the different color labels and this one that I settled on. So, oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Miss Patricia and Miss Dina. Okay, I think you already said that, but there's the finished card. Just loving it. Love it, love it, love it. And so now that we can just look how fast we can fill in. I like to color, but boom, boom, done. And that pine bough and that other greenery are going to just add a lot to them. And then I'm excited too about the holly and the berries. And look at that bow. My goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And of course, the 3D embossing folder, the samples in the catalog are fantastic. Oh, Miss Dina, thank you. Simple, simple, simple though, right? Oh, thank you, Miss Cherie. I am tickled with how a simple card can turn out so pretty with all of that contrast and then the DSP. It was needed. It's a lot prettier with that than just on the red. So yay. So, and that is, I'll show you again because it's just a sweet collection. I know you want the Christmas green. Oh, wow, we really need to zoom back out though. Okay, the Christmas greenery bundle. And when I say bundle, when you order them together with the bundle, you save 10% on the stamp sets and the dies. And the traditional labels bundle. And when you order a suite, the bundle discount, it's it's included. So this, and then all the DSP and the traditional sparkling sequins and the ribbon and the embossing folder. And yeah, this is what you want. So you can do something simple like this, or you could definitely get more elaborate. Absolutely. It would be very easy to get elaborate. And wouldn't it be fun to die cut some of those and pop them up? Even just on the white on the white, that would be pretty. That die and this leaves. So you can pop that up if you so desire. Well, thank you, Miss Danette. So very excited. And let me show you one more time. There you go. I'm recommending you get on over now to my online store and order this advent calendar because you're just going to be so excited to see what's inside each day. And once they're sold out, that will be that. Ugh. And so you want to make sure you don't miss out on that. If the packaging is that gorgeous on the outside, can you imagine what's on the inside? I can. That's why I was over there first thing this morning ordering. All right, so let me come back. There we go. There I am. And we'll put this up here so I can chit chat with you. So, all right. So the holiday catalog, just started. What? September 3rd? September 3rd, the holiday catalog started. So, and this is just one of the samples of something you can make from the holiday catalog, as well as the September online exclusives, World Card Making Day with the Handmade and Heartfelt kit. But you need to order that, and I would do that really soon because that is October 4th, and it's already the end of September. So it's time to get that ordered. And then the Traditions of Christmas class that you want the whole suite. And of course, the Advent calendar. There's so much going on. I'm just bubbling over with excitement. Life is good, and it's going to be a lot of fun in October, and we can make it even more fun now by going ahead and ordering and be ready for that. And so I hope you'll do that in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. So everything I show you, unless I tell you otherwise, like the magnet cards and the storage pockets, are available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. All right, so it has already gotten to be that time. Can you believe it? Do you know I am here every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm so glad you all came and joined me. And you know what? I didn't ask, but please give my video a thumbs up and a share. That will mean the world to me. And if you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and notifications. So whenever I'm going live, because you can count on me at this point, someday something will come up. So far, not in over 2 years, but someday. But 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. But you never know when I'll pop back in. This last week, it was Monday. Well, actually, I guess or Sunday. I guess that's this week. I just never know when I'll be popping in to visit with you, but I'm always so happy when you join me. And so I want to thank you once again for joining me this evening for how to make a merry and bright card. An easy tutorial when you turn the poinsettia the right way. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good evening and God bless.